Hello everyone, my name is Eden Jeanette Relente and I'm very happy to be with you in our worship this day. And I'm very happy and blessed because I am invited once again in the Church of New Lower Bicutan. And na-miss ko kayo. I miss all of you. I miss Nanay. I miss Hazel. Na-miss ko din yung the first time that we had our ride, no? Going to AUP, and then I miss also my friends Victoria and Rich, and yun, I miss all of you. I'd like to go back now with the experience. I miss Hazel kasi she was the presider that time during the Sabbath school, and she was so active. Little girl pa lang, but she had this courage to participate in Church for Jesus. So yun, I miss you, Hazel, and I miss also Nanay and the rest of the church members of New Bicutan. And I hope that as we ponder upon God's message, not this tonight, kasi I don't know tonight, and this is the time that I am shooting this is evening. So hello po sa inyo lahat, and to all the viewers of the New Lower Bicutan Facebook page, I would like to greet you also. And I pray that may Jesus be heard and be seen in our message for this evening. But before we go further, let us all bow our heads for our prayer. Loving God, we'd like to praise you and we'd like to thank you, Lord, for this topic and for this chance to talk about you, to get to know you more, and to have this chance to be drawn again to you, Lord, as we face life, as we face this pandemic. Lord, please remove ourselves and let you be heard and be seen in this message and in this worship. Please bless us, Lord. Forgive us if we fail thee. In Christ's name, amen. Are you ready to study our second topic for this revival series? Well, our topic last time is all about brokenness, right? The beauty of brokenness. And now we are going to talk about our greatest and most urgent need. I will tell you through this chapter and through this time to talk about and ask ourselves what is really our greatest and most urgent need. Okay, so our key text for tonight is found in 1 Corinthians 1 verse 27. You can see it on screen and read it with me. It says, "But God has chosen the foolish things of the world to put to shame the wise, and God has chosen the weak things of the world to put to shame the things which are mighty." Are you excited to know what is our greatest and most urgent need? Before going further, I would like to share to you a story. Okay, so last October 11, 2010, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, October 10, 2011, there was a gathering. And then there were a lot of speakers, but one speaker stood up, was given a chance to speak to people, and his name is Pastor Dwight Nelson. And you know what? He emphasized in one of his topic, based on Zechariah 12:10 and chapter 13 verse 1. It's all about God's appeal for spiritual leaders to seek forgiveness and cleansing at the foot of the cross. You know what, my dear brothers and sisters? I believe if you are given a chance to speak to people, the message is not only for those audience, for those brothers and sisters who are listening. I believe that you or me as a speaker, there's a message for me as well. And you know what? The Lord is not satisfied with his conviction to speak, Pastor Dwight's conviction to speak. You know what? God bothered Pastor Dwight. One time, when he was praying, preparing for the message, he was convicted to reconcile to someone. Kasi, di ba, his message is to seek forgiveness and cleansing at the foot of the cross. It's very hard, my dear brothers and sisters, to speak something. For example, you speak about forgiveness and then there's someone you haven't forgiven yet. Now, it's very ironic. So, I believe God is doing something in the heart of Pastor Nelson this time. And to make the long story short, before the end of the conference, you know what? Pastor Nelson, before he ended his message, he took the chance to ask for forgiveness to someone, to the man behind him, and tell it to people. Imagine a conference, a live television broadcast, and then, setting aside your pride and ask for forgiveness for that someone. It's very hard. It's very hard, my dear brothers and sisters. But by God's conviction, Pastor Dwight did that to that brother. And it's very heartwarming, to ask for forgiveness because you're freeing yourself. At the same time, you free another person to be unchained, And that moment, you know what? It was very dramatic, right? And then Pastor Ted Wilson stood up. He said, Jesus has been waiting to come back for many years, but we're still here. We've tried everything and we've failed. If you want to go home, something has to change. We have to do something different, just like what happened here. So it was very timely. You know what? We want to go to heaven. We have to set aside ourselves. We have to be real with our emotions, with the sin that we had, and do something because again, we really wanted to go to heaven. We wanted to go home. So do something. I'm encouraging you, my dear brothers and sisters, this time to be real, to be raw, and to be spiritually weak for us to really process ourselves and be aligned in the character of Jesus. According to Ellen White, fall on the rock and be broken, and Christ will give you the true and heavenly dignity. Let not pride, self-esteem, or self-righteousness keep anyone confessing his sin. The humble and broken heart can appreciate something of the love of God and the cross of Calvary. Away with this false dignity, my dear brothers and sisters. For us, you know what? All of us, including myself, we don't want to appear weak to people. We don't want to appear as someone sinful, right? But we have to accept that. We have to be real, to be raw, and to acknowledge our weakness spiritually. For God to do something in us and heal us. I'd like to go on with that later, but this time I'd like to share to you a story. Do you love pineapples? Do you have pineapple garden? Okay, so we will talk about a pineapple story. You know what? There's a missionaries two of them, a couple. They went to Indonesia, and then, sad to say, my dear brothers and sisters, instead of being a blessing to people, and instead of blessing others through Jesus, when they transferred to Indonesia, they were angry every day, frustrated every day, because you know what? This couple had their pineapple garden. But sad to say, my dear brothers and sisters, the citizens there in that area always steal the pineapple from their pineapple garden. So, sila as missionary, parang we want to preach the gospel here, but people are stealing our pineapples. But you know what? When they joined a worship service, there and there, that missionary, the two of them, were reminded of something. It says, "Give your possessions to God, because He can take better care of your property than you can. Whatever you surrender to God, you will never lack. The people you fight with, you can never win for Christ." There and there, they were rebuked that time. Parang they said, I'm so concerned with the pineapples that I have instead of the souls that people have here who don't know Christ yet. And then the missionaries were convicted to hayaan na lang the garden. If people wanted to steal the pineapples, sige lang, go lang. And then, you know what? Someone noticed it. When they were in the market, one man came to this husband and told the husband, the missionary husband, I appreciate you, out of nowhere. Parang the missionary was, parang, why? He asked that man, you know what? You've been preaching Christ the whole time. But this time, you're not only preaching Christ, you are showing Christ to people. In that way pala, yung allowing your pineapples to be stolen, people can see it in a different perspective pala. Instead of you being so angry, being so reactive with the circumstances, if you let go of your possession, if you let God take over it, there will be miracles will happen. And that moment, I know that missionary was so happy and blessed. Na it's not our own effort. You know, it's so sad nga we are preaching Jesus, but people cannot see Jesus in us, in our actions, in our words, in our, in our gestures. And sometimes we all complain. We have Jesus, we preach that we have Jesus, but we complain, we doubt, we murmur. You know what? In this scenario, I reflected that letting go of self, letting go of something, will allow God to do something in our lives. I'm very happy and blessed by the two stories that I have shared to you. For the first story, I learned again to be raw, to be real in Christ. Acknowledge that there's pride in you. Acknowledge that there's sin in you, and that God will do something for you to be changed. Also, with the pineapple story, I learned that, for example, I have my camera with me and that's my possession. I don't want others to use my camera, to steal my camera. I don't want it to be damaged. Parang I made it as my idol na, as my possession. That's from Jesus. Parang, how can God do something through that camera if I will not surrender it to Him? Or let's just say ourselves. We protect ourselves too much. We plan for ourselves for too much. And then, where's the space for Jesus to do something in our lives? You know what? We have to be real. We have to be raw again and acknowledge our nothingness to Jesus. Do you want to know what is really our greatest need, my dear brothers and sisters? It is found in John 15 verse 5. It says, I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me, and I in him, bears much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. My dear brothers and sisters, do you realize that without Jesus, we are truly nothing? Do you know that? That without Jesus guiding us, protecting us, giving us strength and mercy, we are nothing. We are nothing, my dear brothers and sisters. And so, think of the unlimited spiritual possibilities that are within our reach if we would stop trying to pretend we have it all together and just cast ourselves wholeheartedly upon Jesus, acknowledging our sins, our real sin, and our desperate raw need. My dear brothers and sisters, we have to what? Stop pretending that we are okay. Stop pretending that you have everything, that you can control everything. Stop pretending, my dear brothers and sisters. You need Jesus. You have this, you have to acknowledge this, that you need Jesus in your life. And that you are nothing. Without Him, my dear brothers and sisters, you are nothing. We have to acknowledge the pain, the sin, the struggle, and that you are desperate, raw need. You are nothing, my dear brothers and sisters. You need the you need to what? To have the vine, because we are just a mere branches. We need to have Jesus in ourselves. Stop pretending that you are okay. And you know what, my dear brothers and sisters? God wanted us to recognize our desperate spiritual need as well. And we must know our real condition, or we shall not feel our need of Christ's help. We must understand our danger, or we shall not flee to the refuge. We must feel the pain of our wounds, or we should not desire healing. I'd like to share to you an experience. Yes, I graduated with a lot of awards during college. But unfortunately, my brothers and sisters, after I took the board exam, right after the graduation, I failed the board exam. During that time, I was so during the first time that I saw the result, I was so denial. And I told myself, as a prayer warrior, as someone who reads the Bible, I told myself, God has a plan for you. It's good. It's good that you put that in your mind. But I tried to escape the pain, my dear brothers and sisters. I tried to acknowledge that it's very hurting, that I have pride, that it's very painful that I failed the board exam and my classmates passed the board exam. And then, what will happen to me? So, I did not acknowledge that. but someone made me realize that I have to enjoy the pain. I have to embrace the pain. I have to be real to Jesus in my prayer. It's good, it's not bad to say to Jesus that, Lord, I trusted you. Lord, I surrendered to you my exam. But why did you fail? It's good to say that to a prayer, brothers and sisters. It's good to tell it to Jesus because He is always willing to listen. He is willing to make you understand why those things happen. And yes, at this point, I know what's the reason now why He failed me in the board exam. I know now the reason that I have to stay. By the way, I am now in Bukidnon with my family, and I am currently working right now. At the same time, I am enrolled. I am about to go to law school. It's not my plan. I know that God has something in mind that I don't have, because He knows what lies ahead, and I know He has a plan in me. And so, my brothers and sisters, when we acknowledge that there's pain, there's wound in us, there's a desire, I believe, that we want to be healed. Do we recognize our true condition? Let me ask you that question. Do we understand our danger, that without Jesus, there's a danger? Do we feel the pain of our wound and thirst for deeper spiritual healing and victory? My dear brothers and sisters, God is knocking in your heart. He wanted you to be real. He wanted you to heal. Just acknowledge your nothingness. Just acknowledge that God will do something, will heal you in whole aspect of your life. And if you recognize that, God tells us, for I will restore health with you and heal you of your wounds. In Jeremiah 30 verse 17, I'm very happy with that verse. God is going to heal me. And I know that God knows the deepest secret, the deepest need of my heart, and that He allows this pain to happen. For I will pour water on him who is thirsty, remember that? And floods on the dry ground. I will pour my spirit on your descendants and my blessings on your offspring. Naturally, my brothers and sisters, we don't like to come across as wounded. We don't want that to appear as broken, as wounded, as needy, as thirsty. It goes against our pride and ego, right? Ako, specifically, especially myself, you know what? I want to appear as someone who is strong, who is not weak, who is independent. But again, we need to appear to Him as needy and thirsty for Him. But being thirsty, my brothers and sisters, I'd like to read this. And needy is actually the very soil where deep, authentic Christianity takes root. Being hungry and recognizing that only Jesus can fill us each day is the very key that opens the window of heaven on our behalf. I'm very happy and blessed with this statement. It's not the license, it's not the med school, it's not the dream job that I needed for me to be filled. I just need Jesus to fill. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful, my dear brothers and sisters? And I know that God is also knocking in your heart, and that God is also doing something for you and in you. doesn't matter our age, the color of our skin, whether we are male or female, the success we've achieved, or the long titles that come after our name. It doesn't matter whether we hold multiple positions in ministry or none at all. All we have to offer today and every day is the reality of our desperately helpless condition and our simple wrong. We have nothing to recommend us to God. The plea that we may urge now and ever is utterly helpless condition which makes Him redeeming power and necessity. We have to come to Him, saying, "In my hand, no prize I bring, simply Thy cross I claim." So talk to Him, "Lord, I am empty. I just come as like this. I just want You to fill me." It's time to go to the cross and truly lay down our all. Whatever Jesus asked us to surrender, whatever our sin, our pride, our selfishness, our unbelief, our pineapples, or the shame and the guilt of the year, let's give it all to Jesus. He has all we need and so much more. My brothers and sisters, you are broken. You are in need. You are thirsty. You need Jesus. Put that in yourself. Put that in your mind. You are nothing without Him. Acknowledge that. Recognize the pain, the struggles, the emptiness, and give that to Him. I want to make an appeal right now for those who are struggling, for those who are questioning God with the plans, with what's next, Lord. Go to Him, tell Him your questions, your disappointments, and I'm sure that God will do something for you to be healed, for you to understand, and for you to know peace. Because that is the peace and I praise God that I am enjoying right now. No matter where I am, even though I don't understand, even though I don't like the situation, but God is kept keeping on reminding me each day that every time that He is higher than me. Let us pray. Loving God, I would like to praise You and I would like to thank You for the message that You have given to us. Lord, I would like to surrender the listeners of this sermon and to the new Lower Bicutan Church members. They are in pain. They are struggling. Lord, help them to recognize that You are a God who is a healer, that You are a God who is a controller, and that only You will make us authentic Christian, effective Christian in the last days. Lord, we are struggling with the pandemic right now. Please help us, Lord, to be still and take advantage of this pause in our lives to reflect and to get to know You each day. We are in pain, Lord. We need You to heal us. We are wounded, we are needy, we are thirsty. And so, Lord, come to ourselves. Help us to understand Your will for us and help us to align ourselves. In the last days, we need to be set apart, and that help us, Lord, to be a better person, growing person for You and You alone. We give everything to You, our pride, our selfishness, and our possessions. We want to give it to You, Lord. Help us not to give, to get it back to You, and help us to surrender it daily. Forgive us if we failed You, Lord. Bless us in Christ. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you will have a closer and a deeper relationship with Jesus. God bless us all.